sophisticated clothes, and you want all those jewelries, and then also you want to be the leader? How can it be? It cannot be. It's a contradiction of two contradictions. Of two opposite things. It cannot be. الرجال قوامون على النساء. So when Rasulullah said, لا أذوق غمضا حتى ترضى, I would never give up your husband till you are pleased with me. It doesn't mean a man should not do and he is not allowed to. No, he can and he should at times, but only appropriate. Wallahi, I'm not saying be hard. You would be surprised the way I'm at my home. I'm never as hard as the way I'm speaking, but here it's a lecture which I'm giving. The thing is, you need to know how to deal. And once a woman, a sister knows what her position is in front of her husband, it becomes easier. We have been mellowed and washed and brainwashed by this Western media and the education that women are thinking that they are 1 foot taller than their husband. And this is where the problems are. And then the daughters, they grow and become the same. And then their daughters, they grow and become the same. And this is where the problems are happening. So, الرجال قوامون على النساء. Men are different. Allah has created us like that. You know, if my wife tells me to do something, I can only focus on one thing at a time. This is the way Allah created me. Whereas my wife will change the nappy of my son or my daughter, and she is still cooking, cutting onions, wallahi, and frying and talking in the phone, sometimes in the Skype and the mobile at one time and 2 minutes. I have seen it all, and you must have been seeing it also. Can you do those 3, 4 things at once? You can't. One we can't. Forget about 3, 4 things. Yes, that's the truth. If you start 2, 3 things, the tea will come with salt, and the lentil dal or curry will come with the sugar in it. Because you'll say, honey, this is all I could do. Jazakallahu khairan. Inshallah, from next week, I'm only going to cook. You are good enough. Go and bring me money, and I'll do the rest. That's the way Allah created us. Wallah, yes, that's true. So let us be practical about this. So when something goes wrong at home, even if your husband is the one who makes mistake, it's not always appropriate to you to be the one to seek that forgiveness. But most of the time it may be. You know, we husbands, we react physically. And wives, they also, but their physical is different, which I mentioned a few times, possibly even here. Their weapon, the strongest of their weapon is their tears, their femininity. If they start to behave like us, if I shout, hey you, she says, yeah dude, what? What happens? Khalas. Oh, she's another man. Khalas. It's not that way. When you speak like that, the wife should say, honey, sorry, please forgive me. She comes and hangs on you, holds you, hugs you. Any normal human husband would know that this is it, man. SubhanAllah. Even if she is wrong, if you are a real husband, even if she is wrong and she does that, you will forget her. You may even cry with her. I'm not joking. We all are human beings. There is nothing shy about talking about things, frankly, about that. You will cry. You know she made a mistake. You have forgotten her and you will cry with her because you have a humble wife in front of you. This is what a husband wants. And this is what Islam is teaching. Forget about whatever fake things are coming in the media. Also remember, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Ithnani la tujawizu salatahuma ru'usahuma. Abdun abiqun min mawalih hatta yarji' wa imra'atun asad zawjaha hatta tarji'. Sahihun jami'. Hadithun sahih, in which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, 2 kinds of people, their salah even does not go above their head. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. You are required to pray 5 times, and your salah does not even make the above your head, and you are less than 2 meters anyway. Who are they? Abdun abiqun hatta yarji' ila sayyidihi. A servant, a slave, which we are not. We are slaves of Allah, but we are talking about concubines and slaves here, which were in the time. And even I hear that it may be in existence in limited places such as in Mauritania and wherever. So if they run away from their master till they come back. The other one is the woman. If she disobeys her husband till she comes back to her husband and pleases him. So here the scholars, they say her salah doesn't go above the head would mean that she won't get the rewards though her salah is accepted, or her rewards become extremely minimized. And who wants minimum rewards? Nobody wants. لا تؤذي امرأة زوجها في الدنيا إلا قالت زوجته من الحور العين لا تؤذي قاتلك الله فإنما هو عندك دخيل يوشك أن يفارقك إلينا. So if next time you aggravate the anger in your husband and he gets angry and he is very upset about it, remember the Huriya, the maid of the Jannah, she says, قاتلك الله, may Allah kill you. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. Straight away, yes. More dangerous than your co-wife. She would not say in front of you, may Allah kill you. She will plot and plan, but here she is Huriya ala tul, قاتلك الله. May Allah kill you. He is just amana for a while with you. He's going to die and come to me. What are you doing, you woman? You know? So you have to be, where is it in any hadith saying that if your husband makes you angry, the one with whom you are going to be in the Jannah, he says, قاتلك الله يا رجل. ما فيش. والله ما في. Because you are going to be for that same husband anyway. You are not going to anybody else. There are no those who think that there would be so many maids for the women in the Jannah. This is all baseless. I wanted to use the street language, but I'm inside the masjid. But that is all baseless. There is no proof for that. Nothing like that. When Allah says, "Lam yatmishunna insun wala jan," that the maids of the Jannah, nobody has touched, nobody has seen, no hands has touched, like the huriya of this dunya. That's the way they are supposed to be. So it applies there. Then how can it be that a woman can have many partners? A'udhu billah. Polyandry is haram in every religion. Unacceptable under no law, under no circumstances in any law. It has been allowed, which is a one woman to have more than one man. So how come it will be in hereafter? Even the kuffar, they know it. Kuffar, they have only been able to say, no, how come you will have 72 maids and whatever and things, you know. So they say, we in the Jannah, we only have one wife. They won't be going to the Jannah in first place, masakin. Allahul Musta'an. Also one hadith here, لولا بنو إسرائيل لولا بنو إسرائيل لم يخبث الطعام ولم يخنس اللحم ولولا حواء لم تخن أنثى زوجها حديث صحيح. If it was not for Banu Israel, it doesn't mean that they were the ones who, and that's it, but it means from where it started and how these things happened, that Banu Israel, if they were not what they did, the food would not have been starting to get rotten, and the meat would not have been getting rotten. The reason is they are the ones who started to store this food. When Al-Manna wa Salwa, which they were given as the sustenance for them from the paradise, they were ordered not to preserve any or store it, eat whatever they can, and that's it. And next morning when it comes, they will find new fresh supply for them, which they disobeyed, and every time they found that it was rotten in the morning anyway. And as a punishment for not entering Palestine, they kept on going in circle for 40 years, till Musa and Harun and others they died. And then the newer generation who came, they were the ones who entered Al-Philistine, or Philistine. وَلَوْلَا حَوَّا لَمْ تَخُنْ أُنْثَى زَوْجَهَا. If it was not for Hawa, who is Hawa? Eve, our mother, mothers of all of us, because we are originally from human beings, isn't it? Right. Jazakumullahu khairan. No woman would have betrayed or decepted her husband. The khiyana here is not of zina, a'udhu billah. La, not of fornication, not of adultery. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Normally they say adultery means from a married person, and fornication from a person who is not married. Wallahu a'lamu bisawab. This is when we go to the technical part of it. Lam takun untha zawjaha, that no woman have done. You know what? Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, when Allah created him, ordered him, look, I warn you, do not get near to the tree, do not eat from it. But Hawa alayhi salam insisted, kept on talking to him by the whispering of the shaitan, till he decided it is a good thing to eat, which he ended eating, and here we are in this masjid today. So it means that because of that, otherwise this woman would have been also perfect partners for us, which it is not. It's going to be happening that she will look in a different direction. At times she will say things which are un-Islamic, and she would have all the lame excuses for that. It means خلقت المرأة من ضلع عوج إن ذهبت تصلحها كسرتها وإن تركتها تتمتع بها وفيها عوج وإن عوج شيء ما في علاها. المرأة هي خلقت من ضلع عوج أي في أصلها. Originally, a woman has been created from a bent rib, and that is one of the ribs of Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. And the most bent rib is the one which is highest. And here he refers, parably, sallallahu alayhi wasallam is referring to the tongue, to the lisan of a woman. And that's the most bent. If you go and you want to fix that rib, you will break it. Meaning that if you want your wife to be ala sirat al-mustaqim, as you want, kasartaha, you break it. And what is her kasar? What is her breaking? At-talaq. So, but if you want to enjoy her, you have to go through the hardships, whatever it may be, but still you would be enjoying her. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he does not allow, which means this is Islam, for a woman to spend from the earnings of her husband without his permission. Which means not that every time you want to buy a bread, honey, I have to go and buy a bread. Yes, no problem, go. Honey, I have to use the car so I can go and buy the bread. No problem, use the car. Of course, again, honey, I have to go, I have to on the alarm. No problem. No, not like that. Regular things, it's all known stuff. For special things where permissions are needed. Also, there are sahih hadith that if a woman, she has her own wealth, she is not allowed to spend it without the permission, without discussion from the husband. Now this may not go easily to women, but this is what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. Yes, the scholars have discussed this issue. I won't go in the details, but the thing is, if it is indicating to anything, then it does show the kind of respect which a woman should hold for her husband. And that this kind of being independent like this, up to the extreme, which some, even the scholars, I won't say so-called scholars, many are scholars, when they go in the West world and they start to defend rights of women in Islam, rights of wives in Islam, they have the full rights to do this and that, and then they make it so big, the woman this, and woman that, and woman that, and you know what happened of that? They forget the true essence. If it is so much as you are promoting, why is this hadith here? Why? It's only natural. Two negatives and two positives can't be together. One is negative and other has to be positive. One is positive, the other has to be negative. There has to be an element of control. There has to be an element of responsibility and answering to others. I never ask my wife and say, no, don't spend this. No, I never do those things. Never. But the thing is that she knows that I am the boss of the house. That if I say no, it is no. She may come and discuss with you. There is nothing wrong in that. But the moment if she starts to feel I'm the one with money and I can do whatever I want, and this is the starting point of things which are far west. And unfortunately, the kuffar, they already realize it. And we are still running after what they have already realized and have said to be wrong. Like co-education. In all the Western world, in the West, and whatever it is, subhanallah, we run and say, no, there has to be men and women together educated. They are going to be competing in things. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has made it haram. Islam declares it haram. It is one of the worst of the sins to be committed. No, it has to be. The West realizes it has got nothing to that. The harm coming through that is worse than whatever academic achievements they are claiming to. And they want to go back to segregations, and we are running after them to the ways which they found out just of late is wrong. Subhanallah. لا يجوز لامرأة في مالها إلا بإذن زوجها إذا هو ملك عصمتها. حديث صحيح. No woman is allowed to do whatever she wants in her own wealth without the permission of her husband. Yes, I said the scholars have discussed, there are examples of these kind of things in the hadith and things, and the way the Sahabas they dealt with in their life, but this hadith stands strong for understanding and balancing. When we start to defend Islam, the rights of women, we forget to balance it, because we are looking at the kuffar. You should be looking at the actual Islam. When Islam says you are allowed to get married to four, so that's gonna yeah, the ayah is, yeah, then what? So, yeah, but you know the best is one, and, yeah, Allah started with Mathna. Don't think I'm married to 4. I'm only 1. I'm from Muwahideen. But the thing is that Muwahideen means those who do oneness of Allah, you know. But the thing is that I openly, in front of my wife, I would say it and I would defend even to a journalist, even to whoever comes. This is the teachings of Islam. This is the true essence of Islam. If we can't do it, we can't practice it, what can we do? If you divorce your wife, 2 years you cannot get legally married. While you can have hundreds of girlfriends, it's okay. The law can't stop you in this country. But you get 1 nikah, you go in jail. What kind of law is this? What kind of law is this? They understand that themselves. You divorce, you wait for 2 years to commit sins. Keep on committing sins for 2 years, no problem. Who is this? You go to the judge to sign the final paper that divorce will be final next month. So the judge, she sees you with another one. Who is she? Oh, this is my girlfriend. Another one on the left. Who is she? My girlfriend. No problem. But the moment you say she is my second wife and she is my third wife, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Unfortunately, now this is same is happening in many Islamic countries. You can say she is my girlfriend. Wallahi, in Islamic countries, Arabian countries, no problem. The moment you say Hazi Zawjati, you are irhabi, you are this and this and this, you are extremist, you are this. La ilaha illallah. These are the unfortunate parts of it, isn't it? إذا باتت المرأة مهاجرة فراش زوجها لعنتها الملائكة حتى ترجع والله المستعان. I have explained this hadith before. However, there are so many hadith. I would not mention it, but I would like to share one hadith, and then I would go to lighter modes. Jabir radiallahu ta'ala anhu is a great Sahabi, right? One day Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam went to visit him. فَأَوْسَى زَوْجَتَهُ لَمَّا زَارَهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم أَلَّا تُكَلِّمَهُ. Listen to this. He is Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and yet Jabir gives this advice to his wife, don't talk to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I will explain this, but listen to this. A Sahabi is telling to a Sahabiya, do not speak to the best of the creation of Allah. Right? Ibn Hajar, he said, Hadithun Hasan fi Fath al-Bari, that the hadith is acceptable. فَلَمَّا أَرَادَ الرَّسُولُ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ الْإِنْصِرَافَ نَادَتْهُ. When Rasulullah, he started to go back, the wife, she called Rasulullah and she said, Ya Rasulullah, صَلِّ عَلَيَّ وَعَلَى زَوْجِي. Pray for me and my husband. فَقَالَ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْكِ وَعَلَى زَوْجُكِ. He prayed for his wife, for this woman and her husband. May the prayer of Allah, salutation of Allah, peace of Allah be on you and your husband. فَعَتَبَهَا جَابِرٌ. Jabir, he scolded her and he said to her, why did you talk which I stopped, which I told you not to? She said, أَكُنْتُ تَظُنُّ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يُرِدُ رَسُولَهُ بَيْتِي ثُمَّ يَخْرُجُ وَلَا أَسْأَلْهُ الدُّعَاء. Do you think that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would come in our house and go back and I would not be asking him for dua? Now, scholars, they take this hadith as that the husband has the right to tell her not to talk to any man. That I'm going to come to. Why Jabir, he told his wife not to speak to Rasulullah, Allahu alam. Though the scholars, they take it because of this. But the thing is here, there is no problem in any woman talking to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As it is, there is no problem on any woman when they seek advice from a scholar, provided they do it properly, they do talk. Wallahi, I do not allow any woman to talk to me unless it is from wara al-hijab, from behind the curtains with her mahram. Unless and until there is no case where she has no mahram and she needs to talk, then I'll make sure that there is another brother with me. I will never entertain that. Akhaf Allah. Wallahi, I'm weak and I fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yawm al-qiyamah. You may in the street see many things, Women who have not enough clothes, not enough money to buy full clothes, so they only buy small clothes. Masakin, mumkin, they need more money so they can buy more clothes. More clothes means more money. So I say, may Allah forgive them, may Allah give them more money so they can buy longer clothes. But I may have seen something nobody knows, that's between me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's different, not within your hands. But these are within your hands, brothers. A Sahabi, Rasulullah says, not even to talk. And yes, a woman is not allowed to talk to any stranger for no reason. This is not being extreme. Wallahi, wallahi, billahi, wa ta'ala. If I start to talk about this, then you will have to stay here till Fajr. And dinner is only for after Isha. If they had made breakfast, we would have thought about that. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. In the end, I would like to mention few tips. I prepared about 60 or 70 pages. This is only 4 or 5 pages which I have gone through. Don't worry. Now, there are a few things which we need between husband and wife. Remember, when you go home tonight, your husband, there would be lots of mixed feelings if your wife is here today. But the message, I intentionally drove it hard for many reasons. Because when we put it in a soft way, it goes over the head and we have a big joke about it and we forget it. So when we drive it hard, a woman is supposed to understand where she stands, and this makes easier the issues related to husband and wife. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Among those things which I give as a tip before I leave it for the questions for the next 7 or 8 minutes, communicating respectfully with him. Let him know that he is important to you, not only with ATM card, but also in other ways. And try to understand his feelings. Try to show hobbies, interest in his hobbies if it is suitable. It's not suitable, of course, if he's a rugby player that you go and play, watch All Blacks. That's haram for you to watch anyway. You say no because Sheikh has said that I have to show interest in his hobbies. No, that is wrong. But in hobbies which are suitable for you to talk about, like fishing, or that he reads Quran or things, it's not a hobby, it's ibadah. But some people they, and things like that, which is suitable, I mean. When confronting him, you should know that he also has got feelings. Not to make sudden major changes in his life, they are in house or things like that, without discussion, without prior notice, it can become something very difficult. Try to go out on date with him. Initiate it yourself. Try to save money for those things if you can, and ask, why don't we go out together? When you go out together, don't bring the issues of nappies and bottle feeding and children dating the house. Forget about those things for a while. Have good fun together, Focus on what's right on him instead of focusing on all the negatives. Like, for example, whenever he comes out of the bathroom is so messy. Don't remind him always of that. Tell him, mashallah, you are so clean, you always have shower. He may get the message. Some women may be crying that at least my husband to know where is the address of our bathroom. So there is a good side of it. Yes, he makes it messy. After all, you will clean it and lose few calories. That's a good part of it. You get my point? Look at the positive sides of things. Not only the negatives. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Because if you don't lose those calories, he would be looking those minus calories somewhere else, and it is not going to be any good to you. Men, when they grow fat, it is more acceptable compared to if it is from the behind the curtains. Give him some special time, which is very important. When husbands, they come from work, you know when he is going to come back, especially if it is a 5-8 or 5-9 job or whatever, or 8-5. Be prepared at that time. He is going to arrive home at 5. Why do you want to be asleep when he comes, and then when he knocks the door, you wake up all puffy, half-dazed, you don't know what is happening, and then, or why do you intentionally want to cook when you could have prepared it 1 hour before his arrival? You are busy cooking. Do you want to present it to him that you are a hard-working woman? you are sending wrong signals. Believe me, if the food is on the table when he comes, do you think that he would imagine some maid came and cooked it? Or does he think that my mother-in-law cooked it? Or does he think that angels brought it from the heavens sent by Allah because you are a malaika? No. He knows that you are the one who has been slaving for the past 3 hours in his absence to get this beautiful food on the table. So instead of delaying it, you could have prepared it. When he came, you were Layla for this Majnun. You were well dressed, all mashallah, nice smelling, beautiful clothes, well dressed. And your husband would only for the first time would say, why are you dressed like this? Because he knows from the second time you are dressing for him. We normally say, wow, beautiful clothes, where you are going? Because that is the fact which we are speaking. The beautiful clothes which you bought for $700-800 in Eid al-Fitr, you saw it when she went to eat sawanya and all those dishes. After that, you never saw it. But her girlfriends and others have been looking at it every time because you bought it for enjoyment, but unfortunately, it is for other people's eyes. This is what the problem is. And then she is all sweaty, all smelling. If he gets near to you, he gets suffocated because you are not even ready for him. And smell of onions, smell of garlic, smell of everything. The entire house is also smelling. And if you are wearing clothes which may be of cotton, the smell goes inside even deeper. With the winter clothes, it is even worse. What is this? You expect your husband to be good with you? With this all media and all this exposure? He's a human being. Come on, give us a break. You are a feminine. You are a female. You have all those talents, but you focus it for somebody else. That would be wrong. When your husband walks in, give him time. Give him a breakup time. Don't go and start with all the complaints and things. You have to be smart enough to know how your husband reacts. Wallahi, there are so many other ideas which I could have shared, but it is only fair for me to receive the questions, especially from behind the curtains, because I have been focusing so much on them. They may have some concern or whatever. So I would rather start from the sister side before I leave it to the brothers. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. هل يجوز للمرأة أو يحق للمرأة أن تطلب الطلاق من زوجها إذا نوى الزوج الزواج بامرأة أخرى وثانيا عندما لا يحترم الرجل زوجته هل The first one, let us see the first one. She is saying